Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me
again. Thanks for being.
And I know you've been.
Thanks for being
talking about having me, and it's meant a lot to me. There's just been a period of years where the advice that Evan and I were getting was that I because I was dealing with court stuff, that I just couldn't come out and have the kind of conversations I would like to have had.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I go by numbers with scandals. I say go by, and it's an interesting question maybe to ask you. Like, if it's like one person, I'm always like, well, I don't know if I wasn't in the room. When it gets to like, it's like, come on, man. There's just too much smoke to be no fire.
Oh, so, I never said there was no fire.
Okay,
it just wasn't a raging forest fire.
Right.
It was a small kitchen fire that could have been put out with an extinguisher.
To me, the most important point in this case, and we discussed all the ones, is that at a certain point, the law does have to have some merit with people. You had like five ones I heard about, and each time, that's just the truth. They lost. I think you're like 5-0 or something.
We
haven't lost one.
We've been found not guilty in every court we've gone into with a jury.
Right, and one Elton John, didn't he testify?
Well, Elton John testified in a case in Great Britain.
Now, why was he?
Because
what am I saying? Gay celebrities hanging out together? Yeah. Weird.
No, it wasn't about a party or anything like that. It was about the fact that a person who had accused me of something had also made up something about him, and he felt it was very important that the jury hear that this person was not consistently telling the truth.
Do you think there's more making up in the gay community?
Making up.
Making up stuff. You said he made up something about.
Yeah, he made up something about.
And the reason why I assume you've won 5 times is the juries thought that people were making stuff up.
Well,
that there wasn't nothing.
No, and there are certain cases where part of something is true, but it's been rethought, it's been redesigned, or it's been entirely made up. Certainly in the case of Anthony Rapp, which is a case that we won in federal court in New York.
And which one was that?
Anthony Rapp sued me. He was the first person to accuse me of something from 31 years before in 2017.
Under
which is
what
why
circumstances? I know that name. I've heard it.
The circumstance was he did an article in BuzzFeed magazine in which he accused me of being attracted to him and wanting to be sexual with him when he was a teenager, when he was just a kid. And it took us until we got to court many years later in 2022 to be able to prove that, in fact, the entire story was not true. The foundation of the story he built around a bedroom in an apartment that he said I rented, in which he'd gone into a bedroom at a party that I threw. He'd been invited to this party, and that at some point, very drunk, I came into that bedroom, leaned against the door, was so drunk I probably wouldn't remember, and that this encounter happened. But as it turned out, and as we proved in a court of law, I lived in a studio apartment. There was no bedroom. There was no door. There was an entire foundation of what he told this story around completely crumbled with the evidence. And also we had incredible testimony by John Barrowman, who was a friend of his at the time and had been to my apartment with him. The only time he'd ever been in my apartment was when they came to meet my dog. So the whole thing was made up.
Okay, so listen, I'm not that kind of interviewer who this is not that kind of a show where I do my homework and I didn't even remember this guy's name. Plainly, this is not 60 minutes.
Yes, clearly.
But I'm also, I feel like
Anderson,
I'm
very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm also fair, and I also am, I think my bond with my audience, truthful. So truthfully, again, when 20 people feel like something that's a lot of people. It's a lot of smoke. It's a lot of I don't know. There is always nuance, and people. It's terrible. I think that people skip over it, and one of them is time. The mores change. People, they just do. People acted differently. I mean, we get better generally as we're more enlightened, but you must have known you were, forward, shall we? In the use the old parlance, a forward.
I hit on a lot of guys.
Yeah, but hitting on and like, I mean, yeah, I did a bit about the one. You got off totally. I mean, I think the jury was like took 2 hours to say it was the kid in the piano bar.
Oh yeah, that actually never went to trial.
Okay,
that never went to trial because they tampered with evidence, and then he took the fifth in a pretrial meeting with my lawyer.
But I'm just, again, remembering this from I used to do a bit about it in my act.
You did?
In your defense.
Oh.
Because the bit was, as I recall, I mean, that, like, he says, like, your cock was in his hand for like 3 minutes, and then he like said something, and I remember like, Mr. Spacey, wasn't that part of it?
In a very crowded bar with lots of people looking at me.
Well, I mean, your cock could have been in his hand, but if it's there for 3 minutes,
my cock was never in his hand.
Really?
No. He claimed something else. But yeah, that one never even got to court. That one was thrown out.
But isn't, I mean, this is a really inappropriate question that, again, Keith Morrison, I don't think is going to ask, but like, come on, man. There is a difference between the heterosexual world and the gay world. I'm not saying that excuses bad behavior. I'm just saying, like, there's no equivalent of a bathhouse in the heterosexual world, right?
Palm Springs, yeah.
What?
No.
But isn't that gay?
Yeah. Look, I would say this. I certainly, over the years that I have been an actor, and I certainly, I was very, very closeted. I was fiercely closeted. I didn't want anyone to know anything about me.
Yeah.
And of course, I thought I was so clever that no one knew, but of course, kind of everybody knew.
I knew.
Yeah, you knew. I never got near you, all right?
I did a great joke about you that the audience just completely didn't get. At the 1997 Oscars, it was Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
Remember the movie, the Bruce Willis movie?
Sure, the Bruce Willis movie, yeah.
What was it? I don't know, maybe you were up against him, or you were there.
I See Dead People, yes.
Yeah, I See Dead People movie.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I said, the Oscars went on so long this year, by the end of the evening, Haley Joel Osment had a beard, and Kevin Spacey didn't.
That's a good joke.
So good. And they laughed at the first part, and
not
totally
the second?
they don't know what a...
Oh, that's so interesting.
They didn't know what a beard was.
Well, maybe you should have said, I see gay people.
They're not sophisticates like us, Kevin.
Yes, I see.
You see? We're sophisticates. That's the part of me that's gay. I'm very fucking sophisticated.
Yeah.
So, where were we in my grilling? Well, the question to me now is like, I think my spidey instinct is, yeah, you should have gotten some punishment. I think you were a little too forward, shall we say, made a lot of, obviously people got uncomfortable. The question now is, you paid a lot. It's like when Bernie says, rich people don't pay taxes. I'm like, who the fuck do you think? I pay like 60%, you asshole.
Right.
Okay. It's like, how much is enough paying? So, like, when did this start? So let's talk about your sentence that you've served.
This started in 2017.
Okay,
in October of 2017, this began, and I would say,
and you're
not
still
exaggerating.
You're still in show business jail.
Well, I feel less in jail than I did.
Oh, good.
But
really?
I do actually now feel that when people look at things, and when I know, as you said, you didn't really pay attention to the details, and I know most people don't. But I think when people actually start to hear the facts, understand what we've won in courts, I think people now look at this and think, maybe 9 years has been enough.
Well, that's the question.
And that if I had been a sports figure, I would have been benched for 7 games.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Why are you comparing it to that?
Well, because that's what happens. A sports person is accused of something, and they're benched for 7 games, and then they're back on the field.
Sports figures have been. Who's the guy who? It's not funny, but he clocked his wife in the elevator, and he never played again.
Well, I don't know
They-
about that particular case, but I'm saying,
Well-
if you're hitting home runs, they want you on the field.
Yes, I think. I mean, yeah, you're right.
So I believe we're
I
at
mean,
a point now where I think people are now beginning to
Well,
look at what actually happened, and I feel much more welcomed, and I think that things are moving in the direction that we hope they're moving in.
Yeah, because I think a 10-year sentence is a serious sentence. And I know, like, I don't know, thank God, but I surmise that, like, it's an everyday sentence. I mean, you know, certain parts of it, you can't go out, right?
I go out all the time.
No, always?
Always.
Throughout this whole thing?
Not throughout the whole thing. I would say in 2018, I didn't really want to be seen.
Exactly.
And I sort of kept to myself, and I actually started wearing a mask before COVID, which was pretty funny.
Wow.
That I was wearing a mask because I didn't want to be seen. But then I got through that, and I did an enormous amount of therapy. I went through a lot of programs that were very helpful,
Really?
incredibly helpful for me. And then in 2019, Evan suggested that we sort of take a trip, and so we went around Europe for off and on about 6 months, and we backpacked literally, and that was when I was able to, without a hat, without glasses, without hiding in any way, just go out into the world. And I can tell you that we were stopped 70 times a day by people who were so generous and so happy to see me and asking, when are you going back to work?
This is
And
Europe?
This is all over Europe, all over everywhere. I mean, it's
Oh.
been that way.
And I feel like Europe is a more forgiving, it's an older culture.
No,
You know, they're
it's been
cool.
the same way in the United
They're
States.
cool with perverts.
It's been the same in the
Roman
United
Polanski,
States. It's been the same in the United States. Everywhere I go. I know there's people online that say nasty things, but I've not met one of them in real life.
That is an interesting phenomena I've also experienced.